For more updates, click on subscribe and click on bell button for latest notifications. Hi friends, welcome to Tech ARK IT YouTube channel. My name is Ravi. In this video session, we are going to see that Linux boot process.
Like, share, comment, and subscribe.
Step by step boot process explanation I'm going to tell you. So but before that also I have uploaded the similar video using that RHEL 7 boot process, but seems to be that went to a little bit of bad things, like a few of the people, they are unable to understand the language whatever it is used on that video. So that's why I'm just remaking the same similar video, but it's not going to be a similar one, but it's a different one. So now first of all, how the Linux boot process starts, and where the Linux actually booting process comes into the picture. Example, say if you press your server power button, then what happens? Immediately do a post in the sense power on self test, in the sense each component of the hardware, they will power on their own, in the sense they will test their own power, like okay, I'm able to switch on myself or not. Then what happens? Okay, if all the hardware says okay, I am ready to power on, then what happens? Whenever you press the power button, the post completes, and immediately the BIOS program, basic input output system, will be loaded from the hardware, like all the details about the hardware and how many devices are connected, all the devices are functioning well or not, is there any errors, all the details will become over here about the hardware details. So BIOS will be loaded. The next one is that master boot record. So the master boot record is a very fast record on the hard disk, which is 512 in bytes. Say whenever first read comes to the MBR, says that okay, here is my MBR, the MBR will be located with the partition information, and where my OS partition is located, where is my boot related files will be located, the MBR will guide the system to go there and boot up with the OS process. After that, the grub will be loaded. The grub will be loaded like base after the MBR. MBR says that okay, here is your slash partition, boot partition, and all the information about the partitions where they are located. After that, it finds the grub in that, and in grub, what the grub will do is that initial ram fs, init ram fs, the files will be extracted into the initial phase as a temporary file system. Then the c/sysroot will be mounted as a read-only file system. Then it will verify all this related file system and kernel. Then after reading all these steps and kernel, when it's jumping into the kernel, then the hard disk process starts, and the kernel will be located, and the kernel trying to load. That's where we will get the boot menu, like it is asking as for the RHEL 7 something like that you want to enter, like or you press space bar to wait few seconds. There itself you can interrupt your kernel boot process, then you can reset the password or whatever you want. But if the grub password is there, then you have to enter the grub password and it enter into the kernel. If there is no grub password, it directly from the grub it directly goes to the kernel, and kernel will be loaded where your process gets started. First of all, the system D process gets started with the system fork call. The fork call will be executed, and first system, because the PID is generated in a round robin mechanism, the first PID for the system D is going to be process ID 1. That's where the system D will be started, the daemon of the system D will be started. Then it takes the entire services to load upon the which target you set as a default. Example, say the target is set as a GUI target, or maybe a CLI target, or maybe an emergency target, or whatever the target you set. If it is on a GUI or CLI, then its associated services will be started on the target one by one, and all the services status will be verified. If any failed is there, it will retry. Sometimes if it is not able to retry, then it will skip that one, as a it keeps on a failed mode itself, and it goes to the next one. Then associated required services are started, then the system will be started. Next, the target is going to be load all the services. After that, if it is in a GUI enabled, then you will see in a GUI interface. If it is a CLI enabled interface, then you can see in a CLI interface over there. That's how the boot process completes. Whenever you switch on your server, power on your server, post happens and BIOS will be loaded, and next time is the MBR will be loaded. It's located for the where is your partition information and grub information, all this stuff. Then the grub will be loaded as a initial RAMFS. Then the kernel is loaded into the multiple stages, like stage 1, stage 1.5, and stage 2. Then the kernel process completes, then it starts the processes from the system D. Then it loads associated target enabled services on the targets will be started, and your actual servers will be loaded. That's about the boot process, and crispy and clear, I hope. Thanks for watching. Stay tuned. Please subscribe to the channel for more upcoming videos and courses. Please follow us on social networking sites. If you have any technical related questions, you can ask